Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the least important part of your day. I'm OCDsaster, and let's get into some gaming news for August 6, 2024. Har har ha har. Not really breaking news since this came out around noon today, but Steelwool Studios have announced their next FNAF project, titled Secret of the Mimic. For those of you unaware, this week is the 10-year anniversary of Five Nights at Freddy's. I can't believe it's been 10 years already, and so they've been celebrating this whole week by announcing things throughout the week. We're only halfway through, but we got announced yesterday that FNAF would be collabing with Dead by Daylight in summer 2025, and I actually have some more news on Dead by Daylight coming up very soon. But sticking to FNAF, today Steelwool on Twitter released a teaser video for their new project titled Secret of the Mimic, in which we see a wind-up toy winding up and then a creepy animatronic coming out for a brief second, and it looks kind of like a gesture or a clown toy. So let the speculations roll, get the game theorists out there to really figure out the lore, because it's not much to work off of, but it looks really creepy, and I am intrigued to see what they'll do. I'm not a huge fan of Security Breach or Ruin. I'm hoping they can make Five Nights at Freddy's a little bit scarier again, but we'll just have to see on that front.
Good news, everyone!
Moving into other news, keeping on the track of Five Nights at Freddy's, this, like I said, is only halfway through the week. They've already done stuff such as a second interview with Scott Cawthon, which is a big deal because the man never releases any information to anybody or talks to anybody on the internet. So Dalco already did a second part interview for that. They released, like I said previously, the Dead by Daylight collaboration, and they still have much more to go throughout the week, such as 5 Laps at Freddy's, which is apparently going to be a Mario Kart type game featuring the Freddy Fazbear crew. Also, they are releasing the official full game Into the Pit, which I know a lot of hardcore FNAF fans are excited for. That's coming out later this week as well. Keeping it on the theme of Dead by Daylight, they actually released on Twitter and on YouTube a new trailer today. Five Nights at Freddy's isn't coming till summer 2025, but soon, around August 27th, there will be a new collab with Dead by Daylight, being Castlevania. That's right, Castlevania is coming to Dead by Daylight, a collaboration I don't think I saw coming. Normally, Dead by Daylight, for those of you who are unaware, is like iconic movie killers or video game killers going after survivals. Castlevania has those horror elements to it, but it's nowhere near like a thriller or a horror type of genre. So it was interesting to see that unfold. The trailer looks absolutely amazing. It features Dracula as the killer, and the survivor will be Trevor Belmont. In more news, Microsoft announced today that Game Pass will be releasing 3 games coming soon. For those of you that are unaware, Game Pass is a massive service Microsoft has been trying to push, where if you pay for the subscription service, you can play games via the cloud, console, or PC. The 3 games they have are the Creatures of Ava, they have Mafia, the Definitive Edition, and my personal favorite, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. That's right, the once Sony mascot has finally moved over to Microsoft. For those of you that are unaware, Crash started off as a Naughty Dog character that was the front face for Sony for a few years. Then Activision bought the rights to that, but then Microsoft bought Activision. So now they own the Orange Bandicoot. I personally love Crash Bandicoot. I really like the Insane Trilogy. I think they did an incredible job remaking the game, and I'm just excited more people will have a chance to play it. There is a movie coming out very soon, and I completely forgot about it because the trailers did not blow me away whatsoever, and I'm kind of concerned about how this movie is going to do. For a while now, we've gone on the uppity up for when it comes to video game movie adaptations or TV shows. We've gotten stuff like The Last of Us, we've gotten movies that have done really well, but I think corporate greed is starting to take over a little bit more because they are releasing Borderlands as a movie coming out very soon. It's got huge hitters as actors. It's got Jack Black as Claptrap. It's got, I can never remember her name. She's the Australian chick from Thor Ragnarok. Cate Blanchett They have Kevin Hart and a few other people in there. It's a studded cast, but the trailers haven't looked promising. Well, it turns out sources have said that Jack Black actually recorded all his voice lines before they even began production of the movie. If that doesn't tell you anything, I don't know what will. I'm not going in hating on the movie. I haven't seen it yet, nor do I think I will, so I'm gonna stay away from my personal opinion. But the trailers haven't looked great, and I really hope that they prove everyone wrong, including myself, and it becomes a box office success. Only time will tell, so we'll just have to see. Lastly, wrapping up this show, I wanted to talk about a game that was announced a while ago and had a lot of backlash and is coming out actually at the end of the month, and that would be Star Wars Outlaws, a game that I don't really know who is asking for it. Basically, Star Wars Outlaws is you are playing an outlaw who is not a Jedi. They're basically a female Han Solo that has a blaster and a few gadgets as you try to make your way through the galaxy in between the Empire Strikes Back era. So there has not been a rise in the Rebel forces yet. They're still building up. Empire is still got a big hold on everything. So there's no Force, there's no Jedi movement, there's no lightsabers, anything like that, which some people think is great because it's going more, grounded, and some other people are like, well, it's a Star Wars game, I want to use a lightsaber. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, so I don't really have a pig in this race. However, the controversy when it released was the pricing, and it's still pretty dang ridiculous. I'm going to get into that in a minute. Right now, I want to talk about people who finally got their hands on pretty much the final build of the game and played 3 to 4 hours of it and have given their thoughts and reviews. Now, there are rumors that Ubisoft is actually deleting comments, negative comments about the game, but that's neither here nor there. IGN did a review on it, and although I do have some skepticism about that, because how it works is like big companies can pay these review companies to promote their games and stuff like that. When you go to the Star Wars Outlaws website, IGN is right there at the bottom giving a quote, but that's for your own discretion to think about. But they've shown gameplay, and Twitter has been clowning on it. And I don't really blame them, because you're playing as this character who doesn't have any armor, that's just a basic bounty hunting looking person, and they're like slapping stormtroopers upside the head, but the stormtroopers have helmets on. They're like stealth taking down stormtroopers, but they got all this like extra armor. It doesn't really make much sense to me, but that aside, it's basically claiming to be a open world Star Wars video game, which has a lot of people very interested. However, there are some features in there that have me scratching my head, such as you have dialogue trees, but there's no branching storyline with it. What you choose doesn't change the outcome of the story. So I guess it's just like a false sense of, control or diversity in the game. You mostly do stealth, but if you get alerted, you can then go into a more combat mode. It's basically Assassin's Creed, but an open world Star Wars game from my understanding. And albeit I'm not going to grill it too hard until it comes out, until people have really gotten their hands on it and have things to say, but I really do just want to talk about how crazy these prices are for video games from the AAA companies. Not only are AAA companies laying off thousands and thousands of workers a day, that might be a slight exaggeration, but there are a lot of people in the gaming industry right now, a lot of game developers that are losing their job, and then they're just reopening that position again for lower pay. But these game prices are absolutely ridiculous, and now AAA companies are starting to paywall basic functions of video games, such as difficulty settings or extra missions, so you can't even 100% a game unless you pay extra. Video game pricing already went up to $70 a pop, but now they're trying to get you to do the digital or ultra, mega, deluxe versions and bundles to get full access to the full game. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand DLC, I understand extra additional content, but this is stuff that they're stripping from the main game and saying, hey, like if you want to do this, you're going to have to cough up more on top of that $70. What makes it more heinous for especially Star Wars Outlaws is not only is the price like in the upper 100s for the more premium packages, but this game, of course, shocker, has a battle pass. Thank you, Fortnite, so much for introducing battle passes. See, the thing is, Fortnite actually does their battle pass well. Every other company is trying to mimic that because it is a money-making machine. However, not many companies have succeeded in doing so. But the problem is, there are whales out there that will just spend money because they have an infinite money glitch on life. Yay them. And so these companies and corporations think they can get away with doing this. So they're firing the bottom line. They're getting rid of the bottom line to increase their profit margins. And then they're shoveling out this absolute shit. So there is a battle pass in a single player game. That blows my mind. You have to get the Star Wars Outlaws battle pass in order to get other premium content and assets and like skins and stuff like that. And it makes no sense. And Ubisoft rightfully got clowned on this. However, it's a Star Wars property and that IP is so big, even though in my personal opinion, the Star Wars franchise has been going downhill, there are people that will just immediately buy because it's Star Wars. It's the same with Assassin's Creed. Ubisoft has been doing this with Assassin's Creed, and people will buy these extra bigger bundles and packages just because they've been conditioned to do so, or they have the income or money to do so, which in a sense, like, yeah, if you have the money to do it, that's fine, but then that's making it worse for everyone else, and it's giving these companies an excuse to, you know, make it not as consumer friendly for everyone. You shouldn't have to pay an extra $30 on top of the $70 game to get 3 extra missions or to play the game 3 days early for early access. It's absolutely despicable, and so many games are trying to use this model. Some succeed, and a lot have been failing, and I hope they keep failing, and I do hope, I am going on record for this, I do hope this model fails for Star Wars Outlaws. I do hope the game fails, because these companies need to learn they can't keep getting away with it, but only time will tell. Suicide Squad is dead and in the water, so that's good. But there's so many other games out there, so many live services. Concord just came out, I think, or at least it was a beta, and so hopefully that gets shot down because it's pretty ridiculous with its, you know, $40 price tag, and then it's got all this battle pass. Oh, it's driving me crazy. It's driving me crazy. Anyway, guys, that is all the scuffed video game news that I have for you today. If you liked this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you didn't like it, go ahead and hit the dislike and let me know what I can improve on down in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all things gaming news. And yeah, this was the first run. This is really scuffed, but that's the whole point. It's supposed to be scuffed. It's not supposed to be perfect. What do you want from me? What do you want from me?